what a great team win. What a group of fighters that we have. When they play for their sister who couldn't play today, they just really stepped outside of their own minds and said, let me just try to see what will Layla do? What will she do? How will she respond? And I tell you, she must be really loved because every single person that went out there really showed that orange pride and could not be more proud. The message to this team was still I rise. And we just, Stanford's a great team, great history. Never in my history of coaching did I ever had a chance to be on this side of this score. But when you bring in a Maya Angelou song or poem and you understand the dynamics of our world and you look in their players' eyes, they really believe that they can rise. And today they really showed great steps.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take a few minutes as the student athletes. Justin?
Sophie, Justin Gershon, Syracuse.com. You're on this team the last time they made, March Madness. What about this year's squad makes you think that, maybe you guys can get back there?
I think we're really a really deep team. I think at any given moment, anyone can kind of go off, and we work really well as a team together, and we play to each other's strength, I think, really well. So, we have a really good inside presence with Uche, we've got Aurora, we've got Journey, we've got that inside presence, and then we've got people on the outside like Dom who can break someone down one-on-one. I think we just have all the pieces that we need, and when we bring them together, it's something really special.
Mauricio Palmer, Daily Orange. Dom, you had 26 points today, and it was your first time not having Layla next to you in the backcourt. I was just wondering what it was like not having her in the lineup and how her absence kind of motivated you to sort of step up.
Yeah, I told her before the tip-off, I was like, man, I wish she was out here with us, just because every game is special for us. Obviously, knowing what this team been through last year, we just want to kind of make a statement. But I think, like I told her, I was like, we got your back, Like, you get healthy, you get right, and we're going to have your back. And I think that's just what Sophie said. Like, we all can step up and help each other out and fulfill what needs to be done when a teammate's down, because that's going to happen throughout the season. So we just proved that we're a team and that we're always going to have each other's back.
Christian Locker, 247. Dom, you made your first 2 threes, and they would just look really like you looked sure of yourself taking them. How much of the confidence from making that shot at the end of the game against Cal carried over to the beginning of this one?
I think it was like a breakthrough for me. I was struggling the past 2 games, but I think ultimately it was just getting back in the gym and being with people and talking and just being vulnerable with what I was going through and kind of mentally where I was struggling. And then when the game time comes around, it's just shoot with confidence. I know my coaches and my teammates believe in me, so it's really just me. It's up to me at one point. It's not anybody else's fault maybe that I was questioning myself. I got to hold myself accountable to that and just show up every day. And that's what I did. I got in the gym, I talked to my teammates, coaches about what I was going through, and then I was able to pick it up and show it for them. And that's really all that matters. I just want to keep showing up for my teammates and my coaches.
Kyra Newhouse, SMC. Journey, it seems like you're always in the right spot. You're always doing the little things. You're always kind of everywhere. Can you tell me about how you're owning your role for the success of this team this year?
Yeah, I think I've always been someone who's kind of willing to do whatever I have to do to make the team succeed. And so, something we did early on was talk about our roles. And my role has kind of been to do, like Coach X says, like the blue-collar stuff. And which I enjoy doing. I like going for the rebounds, I like going for the steals. And my teammates, they always support me with it, so it feels like 10 times better when you do it. So having that sort of support from both the coaches and my teammates makes it like 10 times more fun to do it.
Jordan Kimball from the Daily Orange. Dom, you suffered that injury late in the third quarter. Less than a minute later, you came back out. Just walk me through that moment and kind of what allowed you to come back out right away.
It was just I wanted to be out there with my teammates. I don't know what happened to my shoulder. I think I overextended or something, but I'm fine now. I got it checked out, and I was just like, I got to go back out there and fight with my teammates. I didn't want to let them down, so I'm okay. I think we just kind of like got a little banged up, but ultimately, like my mind says, I just want to get back on the court, so make sure our team wins this game.
Are you still feeling it at all?
No, I'm okay.
ZA9 Journey, a lot of turnovers were forced in the zone defense today. What worked so well with the zone?
Just, I think, playing off each other and having each other's backs. We're not always going to be perfect on defense, but when you move around and you talk to one another and you kind of, at this point, know people's tendencies of your teammates, it makes it easier to kind of be where you know you should be or where they should be or whatever, so it's kind of easy to play off one another.
played nearly every minute today, 38 minutes for you. How do you feel after this one? And do you enjoy going out there and playing most of the minutes, stepping out, especially when feeling is out?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing compared to Thursday, so
47 minutes.
no, but you know, if that's what my team needs, then that's what I'm going to do. And I think, you know, the coaches did a really good job of conditioning us over the summer, so I don't think the conditioning aspect is really an issue anymore. You know, I just need to do what my teammates need me to do, and if that's being on the floor, then that's what I'm going to do.
For Sophie as well, Nate Martin, WAR Sports. You played against Laura Champfy today, another Australian. Is that something you're kind of familiar with from back home? And if so, what do you make of her performance today?
So Australia is a lot larger than most people think.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I don't actually know everybody, but I have seen her like kind of in passing. I think she went to high school in America, so obviously didn't like play against her a whole heap. But yeah, she's a very talented player, and I mean, she did a really great job today, and I think she's going to be something really special. So I hope to play with her in the future.
That's for anyone, but how important was it for Shy to step up today, you know, especially with Layla out?
Shy was huge. I was just telling her, like, do your role. You know what I'm saying? Excel in that. I think her focus and her level of aggression was great today. And that's what we need. Like, when we have a teammate down like Layla, everybody has to pick up some type of, you know, what Layla brings. And so I think we just did a great job of that, having each other's back and really making sure that we showed up for our teammates, and then we pulled this one out. She did a great job, though.
Last two questions from you, Stina.
Sophie, your last 6 games, you're shooting 50% from 3. The beginning of the season, the shot wasn't falling how you wanted it to. How did you work through those early season struggles to get on a hot streak like you've been on recently?
I mean, I think every shooter goes through a slump at some point in their career, and I think that was just my slump. So I knew I just had to keep playing through it and putting up the shots that I knew I could take and that I should make. And you know, having the confidence of my teammates and my coaches behind me, I think, yeah, I really just needed to keep putting the shots up. And then I think also kind of finding my shots in rhythm a little bit more, which I've been doing the last few games. Yeah, I think it all just kind of comes together, and it's nice to see some shots go down.
Yes.
Any more questions for Stina Evans?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reach out.
Thank
See
you.
you. See ya.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach Jack. We'll start with Kyra in the back, and then Maurice in the front.
4 players in double figures this game with your leading scorer out, but you never let Stanford feel comfortable. What can you tell us about the pace that you kept up? And it was kind of like the word you talk about, unwavering, and never let up. You know, the team never let up. Your players, your captains never let up. What can you tell us about that pace that you guys kept?
You know, with the matchup, as you know, you don't really do a lot of work. You just kind of do a lot of thinking. And so the movement isn't as much as if you player to player. And so I knew that I couldn't go too deep in the bench, but they're such a prolific team. And so that's why we went to the matchup, and we just teased it at the end of the first half and saw that it did a good job. And we said, we'll go back to it earlier just to kind of rest on defense, if you will. Don't tell them I said that. But that's kind of what you do because you're really not moving around, and the offense is moving more than you. But, you know, you also know that, you know, we don't have go-to players. We have a go-to team, and we had a special player on our team named Deasia Fear. But you know, they guarded her, then Elena, then Kyra, then all you guys showed up and did your fun stuff. And so it's really difficult to play against a team like ours because, you know, the locker room is talking about not plays and execution. We're talking about dreams and legacies and, you know, 70 years, what they're going to remember about you. And you can't coach that against that. You can't look on synergy and say, how do you stop that? Because we're coming from the inside of our spirit. And everybody knows the green light is for everybody.
Coach, when did you find out that Layla wasn't going to be able to play today?
Well, I didn't think she was going to play yesterday, but she kept fighting hard to get herself together. I got here at 8 o'clock this morning. She was already here she was trying to fight. She was trying to be out there. She wanted to be out there with her sisters. And this player that's playing, the light just came on, right? And, you know, then this situation here. But she's going to be fine. She'll be ready for North Carolina. But it was a game time decision, and when Karen looked at me at shoot around, she's like, it's not going to happen. So that's how I found out.
Obviously, she's a hard player to replace, your leading scorer. So I was kind of wondering how you tried to mitigate her absence after you found out that she wasn't going to be able to play.
It's not mitigating absences. It's about doing your job. It's about stepping up. And Shy is her orange sister. And that's the best basketball I've seen Shy play since she's been here. And I just think that Layla has poured out to all of them, especially Shy, since June. And Shy reciprocated that emotion by going out there and playing for 39 minutes. I subbed her. I was like, why Shy's out? I mean, it's a timeout. I never really saw Shy play so well. So I just think that it's important that people understand you're not replacing somebody. You're just showing up in your fullness, and that's what those other people did.
I just wanted to ask a quick follow-up. What is that relationship like between Layla and Shy that you mentioned a little bit?
It's orange sisters. It's like within a team, you have an older person with a younger person. I put those guys together, and I thought there was a great, connect with those guys. And they're all still sisters, but that's her orange sister. And if Layla messes up, I punish Shy. If Shy messes up, I punish Layla. So that's big sister stuff. That's how you create a sisterhood like I have with my teammates. It's so funny. I was looking at the score. It was such a great game, and I saw the score. It said 42-33. My point guard is Sue Ludwig, who was to be the assistant coach with me. And anytime the score says 42-33, we always win. And I just smile, and I'm like, that chick always telling me that stuff. So it goes deep in what we're trying to create here, and I'm hoping that they're going to have that for the rest of their lives as well.
Coach, after beating Cal, you talked a lot about the word resilience. You used it over and over again. Just how does today's win show how resilient this team really is?
It's our word for the year. It's resolute. It's unwavering. We believe that our dreams matter. We believe teams that we play are really, really good. And on most days, they're going to be better than us. And I don't have an ego to believe that I'm the best coach or we're the best team. But for 40 minutes, we can be the best team. And that's what we fight for every single day. Let's be unwavering for these 40 minutes. When they beat us, let them own it, and 3 teams did that, and we learned some lessons from that. But I think this is a team that I look in their eyes and I see their souls, and I really believe they can see mine, and I think that we're got a connecting situation here. We're just going to continue to ride this thing until the wheels fall off.
Will Dwyer for Newshouse. Coach, what was the defensive message at halftime? Because Stanford's shooting percentages, they fell off a cliff in the second half, shooting sub 30% both in the third and fourth quarter. Was that, and most of that was coming from contested looks forced by our defense. So what was the message at halftime?
Message for offense? I thought that, because they're physical. They're so physical. And I'm like, stop looking at the officials. Nobody's here to save us. Nobody's going to save us but us. So if you go down, the next person up. And so we just decided that we're just going to pretend we're at Thornton Park. And we're just going to call our offenses, and they're going to come and tackle us, and we're going to get back up, and we're going to play. Even the last second, and they're still trying to take the ball out of our hands. And I respect that, but you know what? You can't take our dreams away unless we relinquish them. And I just tell them all the time, this is not about basketball; it's a microcosm of life. And that was the message at halftime as well.
You guys forced 13. You forced 13 turnovers in the first half, 22 on the game. What was it about just the intensity on defense that caused Stanford so many problems?
It's the discipline on defense. It's the IQ of defense. We just really want to get our hands up. We really recruit kids that got long arms, wingspans, and we just really had our hands moving, and we're so active. And then our arms been active before, but our feet weren't active. Now we put both of those together today. We have active feet and active hands, and it's a very difficult defense to penetrate when you see it. If you ask those guys, they couldn't see because we were just high hands, wide hands, and when it doesn't happen all the time. There's always 1 or 2 kids that's not doing it. But for today, in these 40 minutes, they were all bouncy.
Coach, to not have Layla out there, but she was on the bench, really kind of coaching up her teammates. How important is that to have a captain on the bench, even though she's not impacting the game on the court, she's still impacting the game off the court?
And so was Maddie talking, and Justice, and this is a team they don't really care who gets the credit. We deserved an opportunity to be in a situation where the world sees the greatness that we have, and when you lean in and you really get to know our team, you're going to meet special people. And it's a shame if we don't get to a place of dancing they won't get to know Alayla Ophelia and what she's willing to do to sacrifice for her team, or Maddie Potts, or Sophie Burrows. And they have great stories to tell, but it doesn't matter until we get somewhere and seize the noise and speak it out, and then they're going to realize why I come to work and I'm skipping. Sometimes I'll be halfway to work. I'm like, wait a minute, I forgot my car. That's a joke, but that's how I feel, though. I feel that way about this gang, and because they understand the assignment.
Last two, we're gonna go here and then
Coach, after the Virginia Tech loss, you talked about kind of a lack of energy across the team. How have you seen the energy change over the last 2 weeks?
Here. I take full responsibility for that Virginia Tech game. I didn't bring the right energy. I didn't coach them the right way. And I am the leader of this team. And I said I vowed to never let that happen, no matter what the situation with my family, with my job, with anything. I want to give these young ladies everything I have, every single practice and games. And if we don't win, it won't be because of energy ever again. And they bought into that. We communicate that. And they're doing a great job. Thank you.
Coach, what would your message be to the community about why they should get behind this team?
You know what? I came here asking for people to get behind this team, and I've been all over this community. I'm from here, born here. I say this is my city, this is our city. I spoke at Center State in front of 800 businesses. I've done my job, and now it's up to them to decide if they want to enjoy a women's basketball game, because we're going to play no matter what. If they don't come here, we'll go and play in UConn and play in front of those fans, or we'll play in front of Ole Miss fans, or whatever place, because at the end of the day, Syracuse got to decide that they're going to really enjoy watching women's sports in general and women's basketball too. And if they continue to choose not to show up, that's what we're going to do. We'll still keep the light on for them. Thank you so much for the question.